Hey guys, Crewman here, and welcome to GPU Market Watch, Episode 1, the 4070 Super release. You'll be watching this one day after the 4070 Super releases, and I told you guys to halt buying GPUs until one of the Supers starts releasing. Well, today is that day, and we're going to take a look at the state of the GPU market for gaming and for mining, and I'm going to give you my picks on what you should buy and what you shouldn't buy, and I'm just going to tell you what the market is and whether or not I would buy at the current market conditions or what I would pay. So lately, one of the reasons I'm doing this video is a lot of people have been DMing me going, "Crewman, should I pay this much for this GPU?" And it's one of those things where I don't always have the answer. So I thought, let's get educated on the current market. Because guys, let's be real, the bear market's over. Whether GPU mining is exploding right now or not, bear market prices are over, they're gone. And I think it's very important that we adjust our expectations accordingly. Because it's not fair when someone who just got into mining is asking, should I buy a 3070 for $350? And we say, no, it's garbage because we paid $200. That's not the reality of the market anymore. Hopefully, a lot of you were able to take advantage of the bear market. I was one of them. And you don't need to buy that much now. But not everybody's in that position for whatever reason. So this series is going to help people navigate this very fluid market. So with that said, a few disclaimers. I will be using eBay sold as a baseline. Now, I know you can buy graphics cards in better places like Hardware Swap, OfferUp, Facebook Marketplace, etc. But you can't buy anything in bulk, and you can't buy a lot of GPUs from any of those places. So that is why we'll be going off eBay sold, and we'll be doing that weekly. Now, I'm not showing mining-specific GPUs, as I don't think a lot of people are familiar with those, and a lot of people don't want to order overseas to get those, so I'll be leaving those out. If people want another video on those in the future, I can do it. There will also be one section for gaming and one section for mining. So I'll timestamp them both. So after this introduction, you can just skip over to the one that applies to you, or watch the whole video if they both apply to you. You will actually notice that there is some overlap and some where, like, if it's a bad mining GPU, it's a good gaming GPU, and vice versa. So how I color code these: greens are solid buys and orange is a must buy. Now remember, these are all moving targets, which can change weekly, and I will have another column next week will show the weekly change from the week before. So if you bought, say, what is a must buy GPU this week and the price goes up $50 to $100 for next week and it's no longer a must buy, don't feel bad because you got it when the price was right. And finally, guys, remember, this is for entertainment purposes only. I am not an expert. Don't treat me as such. I'm just a guy who likes to buy GPUs and likes to help people buy GPUs that, in my opinion, I think are good as well. So with that said, let's get to it. We're going to start with mining first. All right, let's start with GPU mining. So let's just get this out of the way. Anything under a 2080 Ti, I do not think is worth buying. I have the market price of them, what you can get them for new, and what I would pay, but as I said, I would not buy any of these for mining. I think the time has passed. There's no good deals on them, and none of them are efficient enough to worth buying. Now, I have 1660 Supers, but I basically got them for free. So if you're getting them for less than the price I'd pay, then maybe I would consider buying them. If not, pass. The first one that I like is a 2080 Ti. The market price is $330. If you can get it for anywhere around $300, I would do it. I would skip the 3060. The 3060 Ti, I still like it. I don't like it as much as the 3070 in terms of what it can do. However, the price is holding a lot lower on eBay. Still not much, though, as it is going up. If you can get them for around $240, I would for sure buy them. $280, I would still probably buy them given the current state of this market. Now, the rest of Ampere from 3070 to the 3090 Ti are all skips in my opinion. I've done a big deep dive into the 3070, and you know why I don't like it. These other ones, the prices are just way too high. I mean, just look at the RTX 3090. That is outrageous. Do not pay $900 for that thing. Please don't. People want it for AI. If you're not using it for AI, aka miners, don't buy it. The next one that we have, which I would consider a must buy, is the 4060 Ti. You can still get them for under MSRP. My target price would be anywhere from $330 to $350. I bought 12 of them in that price range. $370 is fine. I would also pay that probably. Anything under MSRP is a good buy for those right now. I would get them before they're gone, under MSRP anyway. If you can see them for MSRP, maybe I would hold up, but under they are a must buy. 4070 is a solid buy. With the 4070 Super releasing, I expect the market to drop between to around 450. The market says 500 right now. I think it'll drop more. If you can get it for anywhere between 450 and 5, I would buy it. I would not buy the 4070 Super right now. I have one, but we need to see some more testing with power draw and everything. I mean, we can guess how much it uses, but until we actually have it in our hands, I would just hold off. Worst case, it's a week. As of filming around 4 o'clock on launch day, there are still Founders Editions available at Nvidia.com, and there are tons of AIBs available on sites like Newegg. So I think you're doing okay on that one. The 47, so I'm sorry, I think it's okay waiting for that GPU. The 4070 Ti is a also must buy for Croup-Man. If you can get it anywhere between the market price of $600 to $650, $650 being the marketplace price, $600 is what I'd like to pay, I would snap them up and buy them, and I would not feel bad about it. You know, I think this could change next week, as we need to see what the 4070 Super can do, but I don't think you'll regret buying a 4070 Ti for $600. Next, we have the 4080. If you can get them for $800, snap them up all day, because they'll basically be a 4070 Ti Super, but a little bit more powerful. If you can get them for like $950 or less, I think I would consider it. I think I would like to be at $900 or $850. The market says $950 right now. I think you could do worse than buying it in that range. The 4090, I would personally not buy it for mining. It's too expensive right now. You end up getting better dollar for hash when you look at the fact that you could get two 4070 Ti's for $1,300, which is essentially one 4090. Yes, it's less dense, but not by much, and you're saving a bunch of money as the 4090 market price is going up. I wouldn't pay more than MSRP for one. Frankly, I think I paid less, but that was another time and another age. So again, I would not buy these for mining. Let the AI users have them. Then the ones you don't buy for mining, you don't buy the 1650 and none of the 10 series. I don't care what anybody says. You don't buy the 10 series for mining unless you're basically giving them for like $10-15, which you won't be. So you don't buy any of the 10 series for mining. All right, guys. So now that we have the Nvidia, the 30 series, 20 series, and 40 series taken care of, let's move on to the AMD side. All right, so as far as mining, basically AMD is only good at Kapow, maybe Dynex but I don't really think so. So basically Kapow, but it is really, really good at Kapow. Good to the point where if you're just mining Kapow, you're doing okay. So all of my opinions on AMD are based on how well they do on Kapow. So Croup-Man's can't miss pick is the 5600 XT, and I will be doing a deeper dive with that on Monday, but I've been testing the few 5600 XTs that I have, and holy smokes are they efficient and good. Again, I will post a video on Monday, but if you can get these anywhere between what I would pay and market price, snap them up and don't regret it. I think they are the best buy, especially if you are looking to build out mining rigs on a budget right now. The 5600 or the 5700 and the 5700 XTs are don't buys for me. I just did a video on that and I'll link it down below. The 6600 and the 6600 XT are buys for me. They're just essentially more efficient 5700 XTs. A lot more efficient. They might cost a little bit more money, but you definitely save in terms of power usage. I would skip the 6650, 6700, and 6700 XT. They just don't scale well enough, especially in Kapow mining, especially when you also consider the GPUs that I'm about to name. The 6800, the 6800 XT, and the 6900 XT. They are all fantastic for Kapow. The 6800 and the 6800 XT being can't miss buys, and if you can get them anywhere between what I would pay and market, I think you're doing a good job, and I would go ahead and snap those up. The 6900 XT is not quite as good because it uses a little bit more power. However, it is a monster gaming GPU, and I think it will hold its resale value better than the other two. So if you can pick them up, especially for what I would pay, I would pick those up over the 6800 and the 6800 XTs all day. Now, the Radeon 7, it's a really, really efficient miner and a really good miner, but they are not for the faint of heart, and they are easily brickable, and I don't think they have as good resale value as the other ones. So if you're a new miner, I would probably avoid those. Also, you don't want to buy the following for mining. You don't want any of the Polaris series. They're just too old and past their time. You don't want the 7000 series as they use too much power to be efficient. And you don't want to buy Vegas for the same reason you don't want to buy Polaris. And I will link any new GPUs I find on Amazon for a good price. I will put them down below. I will use my associate link. They will benefit, you buying them will benefit the channel, so I would appreciate it. And I will find you what I think are the best prices and that I would be okay with paying if you want to buy new. Alright, so now that we're done with mining, let's talk about gaming. Now, if you'll notice, this is not quite the same as mining, as the characteristics are a lot different. And frankly, what gamers may notice is some GPUs that are being avoided by crypto miners because they're terrible for mining are actually really, really good gaming pickups, especially since their price should not skyrocket. And if it does, then you know we're really in big trouble as far as a GPU shortage. So let's go down the line. So in the lower end of the stack, basically everything between an 980 Ti and a 2060. The three big ones that I would look at are the 1660 Super. I would probably only want to pay close to what I would pay. I don't think I would pay market for those, but it's still a good value nonetheless. The 980 Ti is great. I would anywhere between market and what I pay is a great deal. It's a very cheap card, and it still holds its own in a lot of games, and it still has driver support. So you can still play the latest AAA games. If you're on a budget and you really need to build a PC cheap, you can't go wrong with the 980 Ti. However, if you can spend just a little bit more, the 1070 is a fantastic GPU, and its value has never been lower. And you can basically max a 144 hertz monitor on esports titles with that GPU. I still have a lot of friends that game on it, and they could care less as it does everything they want it to do. Now, when we go up towards the mid range from like say the 2060 Super to the 2080 Ti, there's quite a few good options. But far and away, the 2080 Super is the best one. You basically get 3070 like performance, and if you can snag that anywhere from 150 say to 200, which is a little bit lower than the market, but even the market price is good, I don't think you'll regret it. You get basic ray tracing, you get DLSS support. You can't ask for anything better. I think this GPU will age quite nicely, and if you want to do solid 1440p gaming on a budget, you will not find a better card than the 2080 Super on the used market. Now, going up higher into the product SKU, unfortunately, you lose a lot of value in the 30 series right now, as miners and AI users alike are scooping them up. So really, the only two that I could recommend are the 3070 Ti and the 3080. Now, the 3070 Ti's prices have not been going up, not yet anyway. I think it will start to go up soon. So if you wanted to get one of those for gaming, I think now would be the time. Anywhere from 340 to 375, I don't think you can go wrong. And I think it's a very, very solid choice for 1440p gaming. But I do think the price of these will start rising. So if you were going to buy one, I would do it now. As far as the 3080, unfortunately, it's gone up about 20% in value. I think it's going to be a hard sell to recommend it if it goes up any more compared to the 40 series. But right now, if you can get it anywhere between 400 and 500, I think it's a very solid buy. Moving on to the 4000 series, you want to skip the 4060 and the 4060 Ti as they are utter trash for gaming. Let the miners have the 4060 Ti's. The 4070, I think that's a tough one because it's basically a 3080. So I think it comes down to if you want the 3080 more because it has a better bus, then you buy the 3080. If you want DLSS 3 and more, more AI-driven technology, you go with the 4070. I think they're going to end up around the same in price, anywhere between 400 to 500. That's a tough one. I mean, it's kind of like apples and oranges. I think you just go for the one that is cheaper, to be quite honest with you. But that's a tough one. I think gamers, you should avoid the 4070 Super right now, only because it's early and we need to see what happens to the 4060 Ti. I think the price is down to, it's basically the market shows it at $650. So I think for the same reason, you wouldn't want to buy a 4070 for $50 for basically $100 more dollars to the $650 range. You get a 4070 Ti, which is basically a 4090 Ti, which is really good. And you don't have to, overclock it, which people say the 4070 Super can get up to the 4070 Ti, but it's too soon to tell. I think the 4070 Ti is a must buy for gamers at the Halo end if you don't, just want to go get a 4080. I'm sorry, a 4090. The 4080 is unique. I think it just depends on the price of the 4080. The cheaper it is, the more likely I am to recommend buying it. If you can get it in the the $800 to $900 range, I think that would qualify as a must buy as well. So, but again, I think especially the 40 series, I think is going to be very much in flux, depending on what the market does. And I think one day I'll tell you that the 40 series just got real expensive real fast. So if you were on the fence about getting a 40 series, I think you wait maybe one more week to see what the 4070 Super Ti, sounds so weird saying that, will do to the market. Or if you see the right price on a 4070 Ti or 4080, I think you jump on it and you won't regret it. All right, now finally with gaming we have Team Red. You've got the Polaris GPUs, everything from the 470 to the 580 8 gig. Don't buy them new. Just don't ever buy them new. You want to pay around $50 for them. They are great entry-level gaming GPUs for kids, for your parents who want to game. If you want to get into PC gaming on a budget and you can't afford anything else, you get those. You want to pay around $50 for them. You can't do any better. However, if you can spend just a little more, like if we could spend $100 or so, which I guess is double the 50, but if you can somehow afford that, the 5600 XT will go a long way. That is my cannot miss budget GPU pick, and frankly, I would pick that over anything that Nvidia has to offer as well. I think at the $100 price point, you cannot beat the 5600 XT right now. I would avoid the 5700 and the 5700 XT because it costs too much. Now, if you can get them for like $100 somehow, which I'm sure you could still find them once in a while, I would look into those. They're probably worth it. The 6600 to the 6650 XT are all solid buys as well. I would try to pay on the lower end for those, but they're very efficient. So if you have a really high power bill and you have to be kind of conscious of your power, those are great buys as well. I would skip the 6700, the 6700 XT and the 6750 XT are also great buys at anywhere between market to what I would pay. You get a fantastic price to performance, especially in 1440p. I would skip the 6800, the 6800 XT. They're good miners, bad gamer cards. They're holding their value disproportionately, I think, because of mining. However, the 6900 XT, the cannot miss pick, and probably the best one in the mid-range of the stack for me. Well, the upper mid-range, because $500 is not a mid-range GPU. I have one for gaming, and it is phenomenal. It maxes out everything in 1440p that you could throw at it. Yes, its ray tracing isn't as good, but it's good enough, and you will love it. I would also buy the 6950 as well. I think between the two, it just depends on which one you can get a bit better deal for. I was getting 6900 XTs for $425 all day long, and I think if you look hard enough, you can still find them there. And if you can get them from anywhere between that and $500, you pounce on it. They are way better than a 3080, way better than a 4070. Buy these, and you won't regret it. Skip the Radeon 7. It is not worth gaming on, as the drivers don't even work anymore. We move on to the 7000 series. The 7600 is great value. If you want to go new at that price point, you won't get much better. It does well in 1440p, really well in 1440p, actually. I did a review on it. I'll link it down below. I would buy it at the used market as well. It's one of the few that I'm aligned with the market and what I would pay. I would skip the 7700 and the 7800 XT for the same reasons that you want to skip the 6800 and 6800 XT, as in the value is just not there compared to the higher end of the stack. And you can get a 6900 XT for those prices. Now, if you must buy new and you want the latest features, you could buy those, but I would not recommend doing so. I think the 6900 XT is the best value you will get. Going higher, though, the 7900 XT is interesting now that they've lowered the price to about $730. I see it's already pushed the used market down. If you can get one of these between $600 and $650, I mean, it might push the 6900 XT out of the way. But, it's hard. I keep this in a Halo SKU separated from, like, the mid-range, because you could always keep adding $100, and then you're out of 4090 if you go that route. So the 7900 XT or the 6900 XT definitely seem to be the best to go to in those ranges. The 7900 XTX, I own one. I paid MSRP for it. I love it. It's great. Is it the best value anymore? I don't know. That remains to be seen. We need to see what the market does after the 40 series hits and it settles for a little bit. But I would still be happy if I got one of these for around $800. Again, and finally, Don't buy 5500 XTs or Vegas for gaming, or 6400s or 6500s, as they're all trash. I want to thank you guys for watching episode 1 of Market Watch. If you have any problems or concerns, please let me know. If you have any questions, let me know. If you find any deals that I'm not aware of that you can buy in bulk or that are bigger deals, please let me know as well. Share them all in the comments. This will be a rolling video. I plan to release this video, say, every Thursday or Friday, so people can pick up GPUs and get them there as soon as they can. If there are any big sales or big swings, I will post them on my Twitter, so make sure you follow me there and any of my other socials. Thank you again for watching. Please like and subscribe. The march to 3,000 continues. I hope this series helps. Croup Man.